You create the relationship you want, or you will simply settle for the one you are living with. It is such an important thing to understand and distinguish because at the end of the day, it's you and your partner. You, and your spouse. The way that your relationship is set up, all of the structures, all of the boundaries, all of the non negotiables, all of the negotiables, all of that has been negotiated between you and your spouse. Now, all of us know that there are different decades in our relationships. And through those decades, sometimes things get laxed. Sometimes we focus so much more on the duties and responsibilities, and we don't focus on building the intimacy and the connection in our relationships, which ultimately end up where you're in a situation where you're basically two roommates who love each other, who occasionally have the sex of it all, and are just living and coexisting in a life with your children. The thing is, when those children leave, girl, you're going to be sitting across the table looking at the person that you've been married to for 20 plus years and going, who the hell are you? Who the hell am I? And do we want this relationship? How do we renegotiate what we want in our life? What is it that you want for the next 10 years out of our relationship from yourself? What do you want for me of the next 10 years in our relationship? What do I want for me, from myself in our relationship over the next 10 years? What do I want from you in our life, in our relationship over the next 10 years? You, my darling, are the beginning and end of yourself. Your relationship with your spouse, you two are co-pilots. Just like you're co-CEOs in the duties and responsibilities that come with raising children, having a household, having multiple animals and children and dogs and cats and ferrets and lawn maintenance and housekeeping and foods and creating budgets and all the minutia that comes with being in a relationship can also be renegotiated when those situations become where your kids are older and they can pretty much fend for themselves. And now you want to re-engage and increase the intimacy and the fun in your relationship. I'll give you an example of how even this same thing where you recognize that you create the relationship you want or you settle for the one you're simply living with. And this is in every facet of our life. It's for gaining relationship wisdom. It's also for our self-mastery, and it's also for conscious living. I'll share a personal story of mine because I'm experiencing this right now. As y'all know, many of you know, I have a son who's severely autistic. He lives in a group home 10 minutes from me. He has the most amazing staff. During the year, things happen. And when you release the reins or you loosen the reins, where the structure isn't as consistent, where the food that he typically eats is now more processed, where the staff, new people that don't know how to handle him, allow him to, bump on the head. Ha ha ha, so funny. Do you know what happens? When bump on the head, ha ha ha, so funny. He ends up hitting the rest of us. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not here for it. And what also happens when they allow him to watch whatever television show he wants, not all people, but sometimes in our life, in our relationships, we tend to loosen the reins because we get really comfortable and everything is just, ha ha ha, it'll be okay. Let me tell you something, girl. Your life is a reflection of all of the decisions that you make, and the consequences are there in living color. So what's happening right now with my son and his home is that he's a little aggressive. And when he gets a little aggressive, he bangs his head a lot, which means he gets this big black eye. And as some of you know, 2 years ago, he had brain surgery and had a tumor removed. So the kid has no reason to be banging his head. But when he feels insecure or he gets super frustrated, that is his way of owning the room, which is super damaging. So guess what that same little thing where he bangs his head on the floor to get control of the situation? Do you know what happens in our relationships, in our loving marriages? That dynamic, it's called resentment. When you let that structure and that consistency where you communicate effectively with your partner, where you're negotiating date nights or how to increase intimacy or how to work with one another, because any dynamic relationship is always curated, tweaked, and just adjusted all the time. And when you stop doing it, resentment. You don't communicate effectively anymore. You're not showing love to one another. So this happens in everything that we do. And because I just got back from my son's place and I was just thinking about doing a video on week 39's topic, which is you either create the relationship you want or you settle for the one you're simply living with. I know my girls out here in feminine space land, we don't deal with just it. We want to live, we want to curate, we want to tweak, and we are here to learn how not only to master ourselves, but how to apply relationship wisdom. When we see something's not working, how do we fix it? And then if we don't know how to fix it, we learn how to fix it. And here in Feminine Spaces, it's all dedicated to self-mastery, relationship wisdom, and conscious living. Because at the end of the day, you, my darlings, are the beginning and end of your life, the beginning and end of all your relationships. If something's not working, is because typically we've released the rein somewhere. We haven't implemented the structure to keep everything nice and tight and running smoothly. And not that we can consistently do this in every facet of our life. However, when you have processes in place, you can start recognizing, hey, I'm laxing over here. Let me come over here and tighten this. It's like the juggling plates or you're swinging this one, swinging this one, swinging this one, because you got to keep an eye on it. And that is what we're talking about this week, week 39, about our relationships. Pussly puss.